Google just shipped a new AI model, its third Gemini release in about 6 weeks. Fast, cheap, genuinely better at coding. And yet the story isn't the model Google launched, it's the one it didn't. Because the flagship it promised for June still doesn't exist, and this week, Google wouldn't even give a date. The undercard keeps winning, the main event never shows up. Let's be fair to what shipped, because it's good. Gemini 3.7 Flash lands just 3 weeks after 3.6, and the coding gains are real. On one software engineering benchmark, it jumped from 49 to 65%. On an automation test, from 17 to 30%. And Google cut the price in half, 75 cents per million input tokens, 375 output through the end of the year. On the Independent Artificial Analysis Index, it scores 56, ahead of Claude Sonnet 5, just behind GPT-5.6 Terra and Meta's Muse. Middle of the pack on smarts, but cheapest by far, undercutting its rivals roughly 3-to-1 on output price. As a cheap workhorse, it delivers. But here's what Google didn't say. Gemini 3.5 Pro, the premium model, the one meant to compete at the very top with Claude and GPT, was promised at Google's own developer conference for June. In July, Google said it was testing with partners and coming soon. This Thursday, not a word. And the research firm Semi-Analysis reports the model has actually been shelved, quietly killed over performance problems. For Wall Street, that silence has become the whole story, evidence that Google, of all companies, has fallen behind at the frontier. And you can see the strain behind it. Just last week, Google overhauled the leadership of DeepMind, its AI division. Demis Hassabis, the co-founder who built DeepMind into one of the most celebrated research labs on Earth, a Nobel laureate, stepped aside, handing day-to-day control to his deputy. At the same time, the two engineers who originally led Gemini's technical development quit to start their own company. And co-founder Sergey Brin has reportedly been pushing staff to drop everything and go all in on Gemini. That is not what a confident, on-schedule organization looks like. So what's Google's move? Skip the level entirely. The company confirms it's already training Gemini 4 and says it's excited by early results. And both Axios and Semi-Analysis suggest 3.5 Pro may simply be abandoned, with Gemini 4 Pro becoming the next flagship. There's precedent. Google skipped a public mid-cycle Pro release once before, but it's a high-wire bet. Skipping a generation means your next launch has to carry all the weight against rivals shipping frontier models every few weeks. Now, don't overread this. Gemini 3.7 Flash is a real competitive product, and Google is not some struggling startup. It still leads the industry in its own AI chips, in search reach, and in total number of AI users. And CEO Sundar Pichai pushed back forcefully on the falling behind narrative on the last earnings call. The benchmark jumps are Google's own numbers. The 56 on the index is independent. The leadership shakeup and the shelving are well corroborated, but skip to Gemini 4 is still reporting and rumor, not confirmed. Shipping the cheap tier fast while the expensive tier stalls is a pattern, not proof of collapse. Still, the decode is hard to miss. Google can ship its workhorse model on a 3-week clock, and it can't ship its flagship in 3 months. The cheap fast cadence is real, but it's also masking a genuine frontier problem. Here's the part that should stop you. The lab with arguably the deepest research bench in the world, the people who cracked protein folding and won a Nobel, is the one now struggling to ship a competitive flagship. Research brilliance and product cadence, it turns out, are not the same muscle. A new flash every 3 weeks is easy to celebrate. It's also easy to hide behind. We watch what ships and what quietly does.